Thank you, member. Next on my list is the member for Columbia River Revelstoke.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's always an honor to rise in this House representing my hardworking, mountain-loving, and healthy constituents in Columbia River Revelstoke. I want to start by saying that this motion really exemplifies the issue that many and all of my colleagues and I have been trying to highlight, as well as the message which is at the center of our concern. So I want to immediately stress that there's an opportunity to speak on the behalf of the economic sector, the tourism sector, that requires immediate action. I would hope that all in this chamber have the goal of wanting British Columbians to have the opportunity for success for our province and to regain its prosperity. And the heart of reaching that goal, as is the case with any goal, is having a sound plan. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues today have highlighted numerous components that are missing from this government's supposed recovery framework. But I want to specifically touch on the complete lack of a recovery plan for the BC tourism industry. As you know, last week we highlighted how the Premier and the Minister responsible for this file failed to attempt lobbying the federal government for a piece of the $46 million tourism recovery bounty offered to Quebec and the Atlantic provinces. You will also be reminded of a series of non-answers from the Minister during question period that merely highlighted the quality of the public health response, which is something we all agree on, rather than responses that would bring some solace to the thousands of tourism operators currently facing destitute outlooks in their business future. They're worrying about bankruptcies and how will they feed their families in the future if support is not provided. My co-critic and I have sent numerous letters to the Minister and the Premier outlining issues that have been coming across our constituency offices since March. And I am certain that everyone here has been hearing the same thing from their local operators. Yet the best that can be offered by this minority government so far is a survey and more consultation. How is it that after 4 months into the pandemic, that this government still needs to figure out what's wrong and where they need to step in? The issues have been very clear right from the start. Examples such as liquidity issues, PPE support, clear guidelines, and frankly, the need for just a plan from this government. And these are suggestions we have been asking for on behalf of British Columbians for months. I will have you know that we finally heard a response from the Minister last week, a mere 8 weeks late, and no surprise, there is no semblance of a plan moving forward. Quebec has a tourism plan. As a matter of fact, they've committed $750 million over the next 2 years to develop the supply and demand side of tourism operations. The Maritime provinces have a plan, and Alberta, who is arguably our greatest competitor, has a plan that they call the Cooperative Investment Program that has both demand and supply sides in their streams with aid in terms of destination development. Governments that have planned during the pandemic, and now they're implementing those plans. Yet this government, 16 weeks into crisis, has no plan. Tourism operators, like many other businesses in this province, need an idea what their future is going to look like in the coming months. They need to know that if this government is planning to provide them with support for the remaining $1.5 billion COVID relief fund, there are so many regional economies and communities relying on tourism to keep their economy strong. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry that has come to a grinding halt. Yet this government expects shortfalls to be filled by local and regional tourism. How is that possible? We rely on international tourism, so how are British Columbians, many of whom haven't worked in months, or are cautious to spend money, or simply aren't confident enough in the safety measures to travel, supposed to make up for the millions of tourists that come from other places that come here to see our great province? And the short answer, Mr. Speaker, is that they can't. Mr. Speaker, it is time for this government to set and get off their hands and offer a comprehensive plan with defined supports and timelines. Because for those in the tourism sector, the last 16 weeks has been a lifetime. And Mr. Speaker, time for many of them is running out. So again, Mr. Speaker, it's time for this government to stop talking about doing something and actually do something when it comes to tourism. Thank you.